Hey, welcome to another episode of the Entrepreneur Journey. If this is your first time watching, our whole mission is really to expose you to some down-to-earth, ordinary people who have simply stepped out to pursue what they're passionate about, to make a living the dream. And we are definitely in for a treat this week as we introduce Tina Bollendorff, who is a singer-songwriter from Brisbane.
Will you only need the light when it's burning low? Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let it go. Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let it go. And you let it go.
Tina, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be with us.
Hi Ty, thank you so much for having me.
Great. Well, in your own words, if you can introduce yourself to our viewers and just tell us a little bit about where you're from, your childhood, and just how you've gotten to be where you are.
Sure. Well, I'm Tina, and I at the moment am performing and doing music, and also working part-time at the hospital as an assistant nurse. But I guess, yeah, where I'm from, originally from the Sunshine Coast, and pretty much like always knew that music was something I wanted to do. That was always probably been sort of the main direction, one of my main passions from since I was little.
Yeah, cool. I think one thing that a lot of people always ask is something like singing is almost something every child does. So for you, how did you make that step to really pursuing it more seriously?
Yeah. I guess, well, it started off like I was having regular piano lessons, was like, you know, my mum got me started with piano lessons, and I was really following that I was quite dedicated to that for a while. I started when I was 8 years old, so, and as further I got along, the more and more hours I was spending every day at the piano.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's sort of where the singing turned into something else, because I'd sit down to do my piano lesson and then my piano rehearsal, and then I'd sort of get distracted and I'd start like playing around and doing a few different things, and then I sort of started singing along with it as well. And I guess it's what anyone can do, is just started to get creative, sit down and do that. And yeah, and then I think I was 12 when I actually wrote, like, I was like, oh, I'm going to just try write something down. So I wrote down some lyrics and yeah, just started there, and just wrote my first song.
Wow.
So,
what were the first few steps you took to really pursue it more seriously?
well, I guess probably the big step that I took was deciding that I wanted to go and study a Bachelor of Music.
Okay.
And like being up on the Sunshine Coast meant that I'd have to come down to Brisbane to do that, so it meant the whole moving out of home as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I hadn't, like I said, most of my formal training was always on piano, on keyboard, and so for me to go and audition to do voice was going to mean a lot of prep. Like, you know, a lot of the students that would go and audition at the con to do voice would have been doing that through school, doing that from the start, like doing voice lessons since they were little and going to a Stedfords, and I hadn't done any of that on voice. So that was the first step, was get a teacher to train me up, prepare me for this audition. So yeah. That's
really good. I think with a lot of singing and a lot of television shows at the moment, you see disastrous auditions on, say, Australian Idol, and you wonder, you know, how on earth they got to that point without anyone telling them that they were awful.
Yeah.
How did you get validation for yourself? How did you know, okay, this isn't just something that is a hobby, but something I'm really good at as well?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good question, because you feel like your parents are always going to tell you you're great.
Yeah.
So, but I I definitely did get that. Obviously, I got that encouragement from family, but then also like I grew up singing in church as well, in the church band, so I'd get positive feedback there. So that was probably one of the earliest forms of like positive feedback I'd get vocally. I was in like a choir when I was younger.
Yeah.
I think I was like the loudest voice there, which is so embarrassing now, but I sung so loud, and yeah, I just loved it. So I guess when you like that, and when it's something you're doing in a group or alone or at church, you start to get people kind of making comments, and I guess that's probably where I started to get my very first idea of going that way. And then my teacher obviously confirmed that. Like, I went to her to have a sing, just to have a trial, and she really encouraged me to go for it, and really said, yeah, this is something you should do, like encouraged me to actually go into classical voice is what she encouraged me to do. So your voice would suit that, would be great.
Yeah, that seems to be one of the challenging things for a lot of people, is getting that affirmation, getting that validation from people. So for any artist out there, what advice would you say for them if they've got this burning passion and they can't tell if it's just a side hobby or if it's something they should take seriously? What would you say to them?
Probably, if you don't have a teacher, get one. Definitely get someone to give you a professional opinion and to give you professional like tutoring or mentoring or whatever, because I think that's definitely starts there. Someone that's a professional opinion would be a great place to start if they don't have that. And someone that can support you on your journey, and someone that can train you up. And if you're willing to put in the hours and the hard work, and that's what you really want to do, then that's their teacher's all part of it. Definitely, I think it's something you don't want to go it alone. You definitely want someone that's has more experience and more expertise, and they can definitely coach you along the right path.
Yeah. Any advice for finding a teacher or a coach that fits in with your style? Like, how did you find your own style and not have that get mixed up with, say, trying to emulate someone so much?
Yeah, sure. I guess, I mean, it's really important to have your own style, but I think there are certain basics that you've got to learn, not even basics, but technique. Technique is technique, no matter what style you have. And not that everyone has to do it this way, but I think classical technique is often a good foundation for any kind of style that you want to go into. It's sort of often if you start, that's what I've found for myself, is that I started with classical piano and branched out into pop, and other styles. And that's actually what I ended up doing vocally as well, partly because of a bit of a lack of choice. They didn't have pop voice at the con. They only had classical or jazz. And my teacher was just encouraged me to go into classical. But I think there is no harm in learning a particular technique, learning classical technique, and then you bring your own style to it, and you make it your own. And that just depends on what your other influences are, what you listen to, and what you find, what you enjoy.
Yeah, that's really good advice. So to start off gathering just the foundations and the basics, and then branching out from there.
I think so. Yeah. Okay. That's important.
Now, along with all of that hard work and practice and hours that you put in, are there any habits that you say would set you apart from others, or that have helped you to get to where you're at?
Well, I wouldn't really say so. I mean, any musician's just got to put in daily rehearsal time. I guess maybe in regards to songwriting, the fact that I never seem to struggle to come up with songs, and that's something people have asked me about in the past, is how do you write songs? Did you ever did someone teach you how to write songs, or did you read a book about it or something, which I never did. And I think just putting that time aside, because I was forced, I'd go to the room to rehearse to practice piano for like 3 hours. And sometimes I'd be like, oh my gosh, the next 3 hours and I'm stuck here. And that's it, you know, I'd get sidetracked. But it was that time that was dedicated to the music and that lack of distraction. And that's where I wrote the songs. That's how I started writing songs, because there was like complete lack of distraction and there was nothing else to come and interfere with that. So I guess that it was that time that was dedicated exactly to that, which really gave me an opportunity, which was the perfect environment for coming up with that, with like getting the creative juices flowing and starting to write songs and get in touch with my emotions and that.
Wow, that's incredible, spending 3 hours. And I think another theme that comes up over and over is really there's no substitute for hard work. Is there really setting that time aside?
Yeah,
that's really
I think
neat.
so, yeah.
Did you ever come to a point where you really questioned what you were doing and you attempted to veer away from your path?
Yeah, all the time.
How do you overcome that?
Well, I guess you weigh it up constantly. Is is music, do I love it so much that I just can't do something else? Because even my teacher at the con, he said to me, like, if you can picture yourself doing anything other than music, go and do it.
Yeah, wow.
And I was like,
that's really good.
Okay, this is from someone, you know, that's like teaching like at a university level, and they're kind of almost encouraging you not to do music. And but it's true, it's like there's been a lot of times when I've doubted, like, should I just be studying something like going into like medicine, nursing, something else where it seems a lot more straightforward, a lot more predictable, and but I guess I was going to go and do a master's of speech pathology, speech therapy.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't. I got to that point where I just really thought about it and thought, do I really want to let this go? Like, can I let it go? Can I let the music go and this doing what I love? And I just knew that I couldn't. So, so I guess that's what spurred me on and that continue in that direction.
What do you think it is that holds people back? Because you talk about coming to that point, almost doing that master's degree, and you could have done that, but what do you think holds most people back? Because there are a lot of people that bury their dreams and really don't pursue it.
Yeah, well, I think you have to have people around you that are encouraged. For me, I had people around me that were really encouraging me. See, if I had parents that were saying, you know, I really, really think you're better off, you know, doing your masters and stuff, you know, I probably would have been very inclined. Well, that's my personality anyway. I'm not so much for like rebelling and going the opposite way. I would have just gone with the advice that I was given. And also, like, my partner had a big role part to play as well, because he's sort of very entrepreneurial and sort of has his own business. And he said to me, I really believe, like, if you're willing to do the hard work and if it's what you really want to do, that you can do it.
Yeah.
Like, you can do it. And that was because that actually around that exact moment where I was sort of choosing my path to continue studying or to go into music more at a professional level. And he really encouraged, because I was definitely doubting myself. And so I had that outside input that was really encouraging me. And I guess that was from above, just the timing and the way that it all worked out, that I had that word of encouragement just when I needed it to kind of spur me on. So.
No, that's huge. And I think another thing that comes up is the importance of having a supportive community around you, that so often it isn't a flying solo type venture, but you've got a lot of people really cheering you on, and so that's so cool to hear that you've had that in your life.
I'm really blessed.
Yeah. Now I've got 3 questions that I typically close with, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on the first one. Who's been the greatest influence on your life?
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a big question.
Greatest influence. Oh, wow. Oh gosh, does it have to be just one?
No, you can name a few if you'd like.
Oh, I mean, there's stages. Like, obviously my parents have been a huge influence on my life, and like and I was homeschooled as well, so I definitely had a lot of direct input from both of my parents, and that would be a huge influence. And I was raised Christian, so God and the Bible and faith has been a massive influence, like from the very beginning till now. Well, and then I've had friends that have influenced me, like I said, with the encouragement from my partner. So he's been a big influence because I'm not business minded. I don't come from a family that's business minded. I come from a family of like musicians. Basically, it's probably one of the main things in our family is music. So, which is great, but you've got to combine that obviously with a lot of other things if you want it to work as a career. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of my partner has been a big influence in that respect, in sort of helping me to think about things in a different way as far as career. So that wasn't the greatest influence, sorry.
No, that's your answer, what we wanted to hear. What about in the music industry? Is there someone that you really appreciate and look up to in a sense?
Well, my teacher that she was sort of my mentor / singing teacher. I looked up to her a lot. My piano teacher as well. He was obviously that was the very foundation. My musical training was from him. So I would say those roles have all played. I look up to them a lot. Musicians in general. Like when I see even Bruno Mars, he's such a prolific songwriter, like pop songwriter, got a lot of hits out there and doing so well. Such a seems so humble, down to earth, such a cool guy. Like he's a big influence. Alicia Keys, because she's really keyboard based and how she plays and sings, so that I can relate to because that's what I do. She's amazing. Then there's people in the Christian scene too, like Brooke Fraser, and but I don't know. I don't have just one. I just get a lot of inspiration from a lot of people.
Now, Tina, what do you want to be remembered for? I know that's another big question, but if you could narrow that down, what is it in life that you'd like to be remembered for?
I guess. Well, I guess as a passionate songwriter, I'd love to be remembered for my art and for what I do, for my songs and my music. And gosh, I guess, I have to give that one a little bit more thought.
No, I think you're already on an incredible journey, and it is a big question.
Yeah.
But we'll jump to the last one. What is your definition of success?
Definitely doing what you love. Doing what you love is a big part of it. Obviously, financial success is definitely part of success as a whole. But I think being able to do what you love on a daily basis and being able to make a career out of that, that's tops.
Perfect. Now, do you have any final words for people that are sort of standing on the edge of taking that leap to pursue their dream?
Well, I would just say, if you are 100% sure that that's something that you can't let go of, then go for it, take the leap, and just be prepared to put yourself out there, to work hard, to persevere, keep pushing through. It's not always going to feel amazing, Sometimes it's just going to feel hard, or maybe it's scary, or discouraging even. But you've got to look at the big picture and realise that's part of the process, the ups and downs, and that what you're going through now might be just setting you up for something in the future. So
that's really good. Now we're going to have all the ways that you connect with Tina Bollendorff in the show notes, so be sure to check out the site. But before we wrap up, Tina, what's the next big thing coming up for you?
Well, I'm about to launch a new dance single. Like, it's a collaboration with David Brugman. He's a composer. He actually has started composing for films, which is awesome. But he studied at the con with me, and we've collaborated on one dance track before called "Not Gonna Stop." And now we're looking at this new track, "Fly," and it's just about ready to go. So that would be the next big thing, putting that out there. So.
Perfect. Very exciting, and we'll put all the links to that in the show notes as well. But Tina Bollendorff, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
All right, go out there and get it. See you guys later.
You had your chance, but now it's over. Don't expect me back. You did me wrong, and I forgive you, but I'm moving on. I don't have time to play your games anymore. Now you want me to be yours, but I am so long gone. Yeah, you're looking for me now, but what goes around comes around. Now you want me in your arms, but I've got other plans. You could try to find me now, but I'm gone. Just you and me, I thought we could make it through the highs and lows. And I believe every word you said, but you broke my heart. I don't have time for that hurt anymore. Now you want me to be yours, but I am so long gone. Yeah, you're looking for me now, but what goes around comes around. And now you want me in your arms, but I've got other plans. You could try to find me now, but I'm gone. I wondered why for so long you didn't love me like I love you. I won't forget what you meant to me, but it's just a memory. So now you want me to be yours, but I am so long gone. Yeah, you're looking for me now, but what goes around comes around. Now you want me to be yours, but I am so long gone. Yeah, you're looking for me